What's good, everyone? Happy Friday. Hopefully, y'all doing well. Enjoyed a good week, and hopefully, a good weekend to come. All right, whatever you do, just be safe out there. Handle your business. Then get back to the grind. All right, or don't stop the grind. Whatever it is that you do. All right, just try to stay positive. But check this out. Today, I want to tell a certain story. Two stories actually. You know, I've been through certain situations. I come to tell certain stories around here. But these are the two stories where I could tell you. Whereas one time there was a gun pulled at me, and then the second time where I was actually shot at. But luckily I was never got hit by any type of bullet, right? The first situation, this happened on when my daughter was like, I'm still a baby, man. I was with the mother of my daughter around that time. I would stay over to their pad. I was staying over legitimately, but then things happened and then had to get out of the house. But we were still kind of like seeing together. I was going over there in the nighttime. Couldn't spend the night. Couldn't spend no longer the night, so I had to go home. But since at this time I didn't have a car for whatever reason, I can't recall, because I knew how to drive. I just wasn't driving. I was taking the bus back from work one day, spending the time with them, the mother of my daughter too, throughout the night, right? Until it was time for me to go home. So I started walking home. And then as I go home, I always pass this freeway. Now there's a pathway underneath the freeway where I could go to. There's also off ramps where you get off the freeway, right? Not to get out on the big street, but to get off on some inner streets of the neighborhood, right? So when I was going home, I was about to go underneath the bridge. There was an off ramp going outside that freeway. There was a car literally was getting off. I wasn't thinking too much about it. You know, we hit the corner at the same time. But this car, what this car did was kind of like went to the corner, kind of blocked my path in a way, and I'm like, what's up with this shit? You know what I mean? Looked at the car, two homies up in there, literally just looking at me, head down. Driver asked me, "So where you going?" Well, he's all, "Where you think you're going?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm going home, homie." He's all like, "Yeah, where you coming from?" Like asking me these questions. Then I'm answering this, right? Because I'm like just I'm just like trying to go through here, but at the same time, it's like I got nothing to hide. But at the same time, it's all like, "So you're going home?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's all like, "Maybe this might not be the time you might make it home tonight." So as they're both looking at me like this, the driver goes into the middle side of the two seats, right? Takes out a weapon, right? And he pulls it up on me like that. He pulls it up, dude. And I just like literally, I was just thinking like, oh shit. If I run right now, if things were literally going through my head. So if I was thinking, if I would have run, if I would have ran, these homies would literally shoot me in the back or something, or even try to run me over with the car or something, because there was literally no certain way I could go maneuver these guys on those sort of streets. So then, what do you call him? He tells me, "So yeah, you think you're going home tonight?" And I'm like, "Well, hopefully so, brother." And then so the passengers guy never said anything, just kept on looking. For whatever reason, this passengers guy looked at this homie, turned around, looked at his homie, put up his hand, pulled the gun down with his hand. You know what I mean? Went like that to his homies. I like, let this homie go. And I'm like thinking like, oh, thanks. You know, in my head I'm like thinking, but kind of tripping that he did that. So then the homie tells him, "Dude, we came here to do something." Homie, what do you mean you let him go? He's all, "Let him go. Something about him. Let him go." So then I'm like thinking like, oh, should I just leave or what? Because I was kind of stuck at that moment because I never had a gun put into my face like that. So then the homie tells me like, "All right, you go home, but if I come around, catch you again, do it one more time, then it'll be a different story." So by then I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go home. So as soon as I was walking home, you know, I was looking, I kind of glanced behind me in the way in corner of my eye to see if they were still there. And they were kind of going away slowly. As soon as I hit underneath the bridge, I took off running like crazy, bro. All in the freaking intersections as fast as I can. My heart was pumping like a motherfucker. I remember that night. But then I made it home. Never said anything to the mother of my daughter. Never said nobody told anybody about this sort of story. You know, because I didn't want to put anybody in fear of me going out like that. You know, coming back from the bus, spending time with them, then walking home. You know, I probably could have taken the bus home and do all that, but nah, I wanted to walk home. And that wasn't going to stop me from doing it. So next thing you know, because of that situation happened, so I thought to myself, I'm going to take another route home, right? Not that far away, but a different route. I'm not going to go in that street no more. So this is the second time what happened. Imagine it would have been the same individuals, but I think there were different individuals in this situation. And same thing underneath the bridge, but like two streets, three blocks over, you know. I was going underneath, it wasn't too late. it wasn't too late at night that night, which is kind of a trip. You know, there was like kind of cars in there on a stoplight. As I was going underneath, I hear a loud yell, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't for me, so I'm not like looking up behind me because it wasn't meant for me. It wasn't a voice I recognized or a name I am, you know. So then as I'm walking, all I hear was after that yell, bangs on me, and I'm thinking like, what the hell are those bangs? And so I kind of like stopped and wondered, and for whatever reason, I felt a bing, 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 like bullets ricocheting. And I'm like, what kind of bullets ricochet like that? So I didn't, it just caught in my eye that there was a few more bangs and I'm hearing ricochet. I'm like, these motherfuckers, somebody trying to shoot at me? So I'm just running like crazy once again. You know what I mean? Because I don't know where the hell this was coming from. And that was the second time, I mean, that was the second in situation involving a gun, shooting, or whatever the case may be. It wasn't a situation where that happened where that guy at the first incident would have just pulled that trigger that night. Who knows what would have happened to me? The second time, if any of those bullets was actually meant for me, or would it hit me, who knows how I would have been afterwards, or what I've been thinking, you know? But much love and respect to all of you. This is just a certain story I wanted to tell. Two situations. I mean, there's other stories, but I'm not out here to try to like tell certain stories that I know I should not tell about, but there's certain stories that I know I could. These are two. And to all you out there, keep it safe, keep grinding. To any of your homies out there that be walking in the nights like that, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to do it for your kids. Always keep alert, always keep an eye out. You know what I mean? Try to keep something in handy if you can. And I'm not talking about guns, all right? Just anything that could protect yourself. But always be alert, gente. Anybody. Much love, respect. Have a good weekend. Till the next video. Much love. Peace.